Okay, hello and welcome back to Titleist TV. Thanks for joining us this week. I'm the Average Golfer. We've got Joey the Tweet on the camera and on the stats, of course. This week we're looking at the Titleist, the new range of Vokey wedges. It's the SM6s, just arrived in stores, so very relevant at the moment. Such a huge variation in the options that Titleist have given us in these wedges. So I've really got to test my product knowledge and maybe just a little bit too much to remember on camera. So many variations. First of all, let's start off with aesthetics. In terms of the finishes, there's a standard chrome, I think they call it matte black, and a slightly darker chrome finish, I would suggest. Again, to me, very, very nice to look at, as you would expect with Titleist and the Vokey range. So this is all about personal preferences and what you like to see when you stood over the ball. But again, to me, either one of these is perfectly fine. Now, with Vokey wedges of old, I would suggest they were aimed very much at the better player market, very much a blade in terms of how they were made up. So it was real nice club, top quality, but certainly you had to be fine in the centre of the club to get a nice feel and feedback into the hands. And that's something they've changed slightly, I would suggest, with this new range of the SM6, and they've done that by moving the centre of gravity, this progressive centre of gravity. We've seen it in some of the iron sets where it's been moved. The positioning of the CG has been moved from your long irons through to your wedges, has been changed, and they've done exactly that with this set of wedges. So from sort of 47-48 degrees, the centre of gravity is placed very much at the lower end, and as it goes up towards 60, I think it goes up to a 62 degree wedge you can get, the CG moves all the way up the face in this sort of, as I say, progressive change throughout the set. Then it becomes all about these different grinds, as they call them, and this is all about the amount of bounce, and it really means how the club sits behind the ball and how tight it sits to the ground at address. And that again changes for different swing types. So it's all about a personal preference, how you swing the club. For example, I swing the club with wedges, very shallow angle of attack, and I think for me personally, it suggests that I would be suited to this L grind. And again, it's all to do with the bounce rate. And there's far too many variations for me to go through on camera, and it really is a case of trying them out for yourselves. So that's a kind of as good as I can give you in terms of technical data, at least. What we're going to do, very hard to do a video in terms of testing performance of wedges, because as we know, it's not all about sort of distance, it's about control, about feel, and about maybe shot variation from in and around the green. So we're going to test these clubs slightly different way. Joey the Tweet's going to throw up a few different targets, and we're going to hit a variation of these clubs, a real mixed bag of them, and get you some feedback and see how they fare in the hands of the average golfer. Right, okay, so as I say, a bit different this week, testing wedges. We've looked at a few different ways and how we can give you some sort of relevant feedback. It's very, very difficult, to be fair, so we've tried to find a bit of an interesting way to do this. How we're going to do it is Joey the Tweet. Microphone up for the first time, by the way. Say hello, Joe.
Hello, guys. Hello, Joe. How's it?
Hopefully you can hear him loud and clear now. So a lot of complaints from viewers who said they wanted to hear more from Joey the Tweet, so he's now got his own microphone and good to go. Just no criticism whilst I'm mid-swing. Right, so what we're going to do, Joe's going to pick out a few distances in terms of some targets on our Skytrack, virtual targets that is, and we're going to try a few different club types in terms of our loft, maybe a few different shot types, and see what we get in terms of, and I'll give you some feedback along the way as I'm hitting the balls in. So what we're going to start with, Joe?
We've got 70 yards.
70 yards in.
70.
So again, for me personally, we've got, that's my existing wedge, so let's have a look at the wedge variation that we put together. Right, so we've got 52, 56 and a 60 degree wedge. For me, currently, I carry a 52 and a 58, so a 52 degree wedge for me, I look to get in around 110 mark. That's my sort of range that I would be in with a fairly full 52. So I'm going to have to work again, 58, I'm looking at sort of around the 85, 90 yard mark again, full swing. So I'm going to work my yardages around that because we haven't sort of tested 52, 56 and 60 for me personally. But what do we say? So we're going with 70. So I'm going to try and hit a 56, I think, for starters. Let's see if we can kind of hit a, I think that should be a bit of a 3/4, and then if not, we'll try and hit in a full 60-degree wedge. As I say, aesthetically, this is, I can't remember the technical term for this, but it's a dull finish, isn't it? It's a matte finish.
Oh yeah.
I can't, like I said, I can't for the life of
Oh,
me.
is it these steel grey?
Steel grey, we'll go with that, Joe. I know that the other finish is very, very dark black finish, which I particularly like, but I'm not put off by this either. Anyway, stop talking now. 70 yards. Let's see if we can get something in that area. A great launch with the club straight away. What I found as well, so this is S grind. Again, these have been suited to the L grind. Remember that shallow angle of attack, which is what I have with wedges. And in other words, an F grind. And in other words, what I don't do, I don't take a great divot when I hit any wedge shots in. How did that do, Joe?
Just too far, 99 yards.
99 yards, okay, so let's, it was good in terms of performance with a 56-degree wedge. Interesting thing is there, and I don't know if you can see that there, but right out the middle of the club face, Joe.
Yeah.
Nice contact, nice launch angle. In terms of target, we'll be online.
You're online, yeah, it was just too far.
Okay, so let's switch to the 60-degree wedge. Let's see what this does. Got to say, the feel out the first club was really good, really nice. I've got a pretty full swing again there. Took that left. Let's just see distance-wise what that's done, Joe.
Yeah, it's better. So you got 50 for that one.
What was the distance? So it's 79 yards, so it's too far again, so we need to take a little bit off. So we'll stick with our 60-degree wedge. Again, pretty much consistent strike out the middle of the club. Slightly down the left, was it, Joe?
Yeah, slightly on the left, yeah.
That one should be on target. Just don't know whether it's too much again. Great launch angle. Obviously 60-degree wedge. I love the way it sits behind the ball. How did that do?
80, so slightly out.
Still 80 yards, still too long, online, but great in terms of the contact, all three shots. So let's set up another yardage, Joe. Got to say that, like I said, all we're really looking at today is kind of like the feel that the club gives the performance, how it sits behind the ball. Performance, you'd probably look to concentrate on kind of spin rates and how soon you can, whether you can spin the ball, but certainly stop the ball, because don't forget these clubs are very good in screens. We're still using very much old range balls here at the moment, so to get a consistent spin rate's a little bit difficult to do.
Right, so you've got 89 yards.
89 yards, so I think 90 yards with the 56.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, you did, yeah.
Right, so in theory, I want another one of them. We've gone with the 56. Let's see what we can do. Just down the left, Joe, but let's see if you can give me the distance wise, if I've got the distance right.
Perfect.
Yeah?
Straight in the middle as well.
Is that class? Can I class that as a hole in one, or
you can't
do that?
No, not quite.
2 yards to the pin, so no, maybe not.
Yeah.
So that was spot on.
Perfect.
Right, so we'll stick with the 56 and see if we can do that again. Again, what I can see is the mark on these grooves are very much out the middle. Got that one a little bit thinner, which you can probably hear in terms of the sound. Now I think what we'll do, just a matter of interest, what did that do?
Your distance is perfect, 90 again.
Okay, well let's see if we can be a bit clever. So we'll hit the 52, a bit softer, try to fire it in a bit lower, see if we can get that distance control right. So you can fire it in lower, Joe, right? And that half swing didn't quite work, did it?
Well,
not too bad, it wasn't bad. We got the distance control right, so again, being able to sort of swap and change your wedges again, different ball flights, different conditions out there is always a nice thing to be able to do, but as you know, as average golfers, generally when we try and be a bit too clever, it doesn't quite come off, but it worked on that occasion, maybe. Right, let's have one more, Joe. Finish off. So we've got the, don't forget, got the L grind, S grind. There are 5 different types in terms of the grind. I think there's the bump and grind as well, isn't there? Is that
Yeah, the
That's we haven't tried that one yet. Also the grooves are slightly different than from the previous year's model. Slightly rougher in texture, and we're talking about sort of a microscope to sort of detect this visually. But that's what they tell us in terms of the technology. Right, Joe.
52 yards. This one.
52 yards. This has got 60. This has got the 60-degree wedge written all over it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Lovely confidence in that. Yeah. Right. Let's finish off with a few nice shots. Really, I mean, the one thing I mentioned earlier about the Vokey wedges, and to me, they've been aimed at the better place. I'm not so sure that's right. Any good, Joe?
Slightly too far. 10 yards too far. So 63 you're at.
Okay, so we'll take a drop there. I think they've always been aimed at the better play market, and don't forget these are. I mean, this is always going to be quality product, and in the bag of a lot of professional golfers. But they've certainly made these a lot easier to hit. For me, the feel is really improved the game. I'm using, interestingly enough, last year's models. That's why I've got a 52 and 58. So, I'm a fan of these groups. Right, Joe, we took a bit off that one.
Come on.
Has that worked?
No, it's too far again. 60,
Too far?
67 yards this time.
So what have we dropped the yardage down to? What's the target?
52.
52, right.
Yeah.
I thought you said 62.
Oh, I see.
Thrown the 62, yeah. I was at 61, didn't I?
Yeah, that would have
That's
been.
leaving uphill putts as well, because this green, this virtual green slopes.
Yeah, it's got a real camber in it.
Yeah, right, so now I know the yardage. I'll still over it. So this is, they'll get one more go.
No, well, it was.
What was it?
Slightly too far, but it was in the 100, so.
Well, it was 2 yards from the flag. I mean, how much more accurate do you want me to be? There's some good scores there. I think we've got to be pleased in terms of the performance there of the average golfer. Forget these wedges.
Yeah, no, you have done quite well.
Or do we take the, we give the credit to the wedges though?
Yeah.
Overall, for me, just going back to the very beginning, aesthetics, I think it looks superb. Great finish to each one of these. Again, the actual finish on the wedge themselves, that's about personal preference and how you like the golf club to look. But all of them very high quality. Feel was very good. Consistent in terms of ball strike, launch angle, spin, all very good. Like I said, we did some testing with some real golf balls outside of the range earlier today. Spin rate's very good on these, and again, more importantly, consistent. So once you work out your yardages with whatever setup you want in terms of the gaps between these wedges, it's nice to be able to go out there on the course and confidently hit those distances and expect the ball to stop where it lands. So, SM6s, as ever, loads of variations. Don't forget, we're at Clark's Golf Centre, so get down to Clark's or somewhere similar and make sure you give these things a go, because we certainly get the thumbs up from